Morning, everybody. It's 8:15 a.m. It is June 20th. Hope everybody had a good extended weekend. Um, Interesting trading week, shortened trading week. Powell testimony this week. A little light news. There's a lot of Fed speak this week. But without further ado, let's get into it. My name's Steven Gonzalez. Welcome to my channel. If you haven't been here before, I like to use volume profile, market profile to look at structure of the market and then filter trades from there. We also use supply and demand, gamma exposure levels. Um, and we basically look at that, all those things, and hopefully get some confluence and come up with some type of scenarios that, that maybe someone can, make some money. And that's about it. As usual, please subscribe, set an alert if you can. That would help me out a lot. Of course, always getting likes, a thumbs up, that would be much appreciated. And you can always follow me on Twitter. That's at Gonzo719. And you can follow me on Instagram. That's at Gonzo719 Jersey. And well, we can start getting into the watch list here. Um, let's pull up the watch list. All right. Let's see what we got here. Bitcoin almost up 2% at 26,970. Pretty nice move in Bitcoin. VIX is up 1.06%. Ether's up 0.7. Bonds, 30-year bonds being bought. 10-year yield has not reported until 8:20. Dollar is slightly down to flat. Nasdaq's down 0.17. Looks like it's made a little recovery from earlier. ES is down 0.25. Russell down 0.27. Gold's down 0.29. The Dow is down 0.32. Crude is down a percent. Okay. Silver, the volatile metal, is down 1%. Let's move over to stocks I like to trade. All right, here we got the leader here. No surprise. Coin with this trend of Bitcoin over 56. I'm really looking at that 56 level. Hopefully to get a pullback. To me, I'll be looking for a pullback to 56. Um, and there's our humble Rosita. Um, she's very humble. She's currently in a coin trade. It's in the money, but we're pre-market. But I believe she has a 54 strike call, if I'm not mistaken. Nvidia's up 0.33. Not much leaders past that. You know what? Let me update this. Hold on. This is not right. Oh, wait a minute. Killing it with Bitcoin options. See how humble? See what I'm talking about, humble? Uh, what else do we have here? Boeing. China's buying some new 787s. So Boeing's getting some orders. And then we have, let's round out our bottom here. AMD is down 0.61. That's a nice looking pullback in AMD if you look at AMD. Meta's down 0.68. Baba's CEO stepped down. They have a new CEO, which is driving Baba down. Baba has made a nice rally as of late. This is a pullback to 90. So I'm looking at BABA, and I was a little interested in BABA holding like 93, 92. Well, that's not the case with the CEO thing. So maybe you get some extra selling there. Have to see. Okay, moving on. All right, top sector stocks. There's not a leader here. We're just gonna go down to the laggards, and that is Exxon, Roblox, and Salesforce. They're not terribly weak. And let's go to sectors. So even the leader's negative. Okay, so that's discretionary. So that's your Amazon, Tesla, Home Depot, semis, Nvidia, AMD. Leaders in negative, so obviously that's not much of a leader. And we're going down to the weakest stocks. Energy, no surprise there. Real estate. Real estate's down 1.33. And basic materials is down 1.42. Now, basic materials actually has made a little bit of a move. But now that's the weakest sector, which is not a big impact on the overall market. Either is real estate. I mean, they're really tiny, tiny parts of the S&P. Let me see real quick, just so I can give you the exact. I'll show you that in a second. They're a very small part of the S&P. Um, so that rounds out the sectors. Okay, we can get into some news. We can get into the economic calendar. The only things I had was Baba's new CEO, which we already talked about. China ordering 787s from Boeing. Um, Let me see here. I wrote some notes over the weekend. I'll get into that in a little bit. All right, so let's go into economic calendar and what we have on top for today, or for this week. For this week. All right. So, Fed Bullard has already spoken. What do we got? Housing starts at 8:30. Building permits. Housing starts at 8:30. We have Fed Williams speaking at 11:45 today. Now tomorrow, you have Fed Chair Powell's testimony at 10 a.m. Fed Cook testimony. Fed Jefferson testimony. Fed Goolsby 12:25. 4 p.m. after the market closes. Fed Mester. And then on Thursday, you have Fed Waller. You have jobless claims. Fed Bowman, and then Powell's second day of testimony at 10 a.m. Existing home sales at 10 a.m. Fed Barkin after the market close. And Friday morning at Bullard, Bostic before the market opens. And then you have 9:45 S&P Global Services PMI. And Fed Mester speech at 1:40. So a little bit of a light week in news, right? Not one of the really strong drivers. I mean, you have jobless claims, but you have a lot of Fed speak. So a lot of Fed speak. That's that. As far as news, let's go into it real quick. We have Alibaba and CEO and Chairman Zhang to step down to focus on cloud business. Intel spends $33 billion in Germany in landmark expansion. Adobe's $20 billion deal to acquire Figma under threat from EU regulators. Let's see here. Netflix effectless Korean content market control worries grow. When Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos visits South Korea this week, he will find an entertainment industry that has achieved global fame through its hits such as The Squid Game and The Glory, but also growing worries about the service effects on the local market. All right, let's look at anything else here. Let's look what Warren Buffett had to say. It says billionaire investor Warren Buffett's company said on Monday it added to holdings in Japan's five biggest trading houses, likely underpinning strong momentum propelling the nation's stock market to multi-year highs. Berkshire said its stakes in Itochu, Marubeni, Mitsubishi, Mitsui, and Sumitomo now average more than 8.5. I've heard a lot of talk from certain heads of funds that are very bullish on Japan. So let's see here. Now here's the thing I talked about in Boeing, which Boeing's been like consolidating, kind of broke out, but like it could be making a move. Says the playmaker expects to increase production of its best-selling 737 MAX to 38 jets a month pretty soon, but the company is likely to see supply chain instability at every rate increase. The head of Boeing Commercial Airplanes said Sunday Boeing had planned to bolster 737 MAX production from its current 31 jets per month before the end of the year, but that could be sooner rather than later. It says separately, the playmaker slightly raised its annual 20-year forecast for new jetliner deliveries, propelled by the strength of the narrow-body market, fueled by demand from low-cost carriers. Let's see here. I'm just looking for. We already know about Intel. So here's something that will pique some people's interest. J.P. Morgan Chase and Company, the bank has made strategic investment in ClearEye.ai, a financial technology firm focused on trade finance. The company said the parties which entered into the commercial partnership last September did not provide the financial terms of the transaction. Trade finance refers to financial products offered by banks and other institutions that seek to facilitate global trade by reducing counterparty risk between importers and exporters. Just trying to see here, guys. So Tesla, some interesting Tesla. Federal court in Louisiana on Friday dismissed the electric automaker's complaint against a state restriction on direct car sales. According to a ruling last year, Tesla filed a lawsuit to challenge Louisiana's refusal to allow the company to sell vehicles directly to consumers, calling the U.S. state's move protectionist and anti-competitive. The case is part of Tesla's strategy of reversing direct sales bans in some states against the electric car maker. Okay. Then we got inside China's underground market for high-end NVIDIA AI chips. Uh, where can a Chinese buyer purchase top-end NVIDIA AI chips in the wake of the U.S. sanctions? While buying or selling high-end used chips is not illegal in China, U.S. export restrictions have created a de facto underground market, with vendors keen not to draw scrutiny from either U.S. or Chinese authorities. This should interest Rosita. Marriott Vacations Worldwide Corp. Jeffrey raised its target price to 173 from 172, saying the company benefits from the strength of its branded business model, experiential leisure growth, earnings durability, and cash generation. In Palo Alto, BTIG raised its target price to 307 from 253. So that cybersecurity is getting love. I've been talking about this, right? FedEx reports earnings after the close today. And the story with that is, can FedEx cut margins or make margins better with cutting costs like UPS? That's that. Let's see here. All right, let's move on. Oh, the one thing I wanted to show you guys was what is it? The S&P Global. Let's see here. Boom. Yeah. I wanted to show you guys what makes up the S&P 500, right? How I was talking about what sectors move the S&P 500. Here's the index weight. Okay, I use this in an indicator called the weighted AD from Shadow Trader. Okay, I just wanted to show you guys this. Information technology is 28% of the S&P. You could just imagine, right? What what leads that? Okay, Apple, Microsoft, right? Nvidia, Google or Alphabet, right? Amazon, Meta. I'm sorry, not Meta. I'm sorry, Amazon. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking tech stocks. That is not information technologies. Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia. Okay. And then second is healthcare, 13.7%. Financials, 12.5, followed by consumer discretionary. Okay. And consumer discretionary, that's Amazon, Tesla, Home Depot. Communications. Okay. That is your Meta. That is your Alphabet, Google. Okay. Netflix. Industrials, that's your Boeing. Okay, that's your UPS. That's your Raytheon. That's your Caterpillar. Okay. Then 6.9 is Staples. That's your Procter and Gamble, PepsiCo, Costco. Followed by 4.2%. Notice we're getting down into the non-effects of the S&P. These sectors will not move the market. Okay. Energy, 4.2%. That's gotten down. That's gone down. Okay. Utilities, 2.7%. Real estate, 2.4%. Materials, 2.4%. So these bottom rungs here are not going to move the market. Okay. Anything happening in materials, real estate, utilities, energy is not a market mover. Okay. And I'm just talking about the stocks in that sector. It's not going to move the market. They're not powerful enough. Just how the breakdown works. Okay. Just wanted to show you guys that. We're going to move on. We're going to move on to our daily charts. Okay. Give me 1 second while I reposition. When I reposition, let's move on to the daily charts. All right. Had a little pullback on Friday, basically to the 50% line, right? Now you notice this is very important, okay, as far as a profile. Notice this profile. If you look at the year, this is a rolling year, it looks like a completed profile. You have excess at the top, most share price here, followed by excess at the bottom. So if you've ever watched when I analyze volume profile, this is a pretty much completed profile. Does that mean we can't go higher? No, that does not mean we can't go higher. However, it does mean that we're running out of steam to the top. Again, this is not a rule. It's not hard and fast rules. It's not absolute, but it is a completed profile for the year. Okay. Just wanted to point that out. Let's zoom in. Let's look at this move. All right. Look at that. We had pretty big volume on Thursday, followed by, look at that, a little more volume with selling on Friday. Okay. So we went past the midpoint, basically, of that big move up, right? Maybe some profit taking. And we had OPEX, quad witching on Friday, right? And what I spoke about on Friday, I said expect some movement early, and then I said expect some pinning later on in the day. And that's exactly what happened. If you look at Apple at 185, that was a huge gamma level. Where did the Apple close? 185.01. I actually had a butterfly on Tesla at 260. Where did it close? 260.54. Okay. I've noticed this ever since I've been tracking the gamma levels, that they literally just pin around these levels. So I've been doing butterflies on those days. So pretty nice trade, and that's exactly what happened. So very interesting, right? Because um, when it pins, the gamma levels are the strongest around those levels, right? And then market makers and dealers have to keep pushing back and forth as that's the highest gamma at that point. And there's not that's what stops the movement of the market in individual stocks. Okay. Coin, another one, 56. 56 was a large gamma level, right? Where did it close? 55.57. So this is not magic. It's just how the market works. Okay, with options and hedging. Okay, so SPY, what did we do? We basically had an inside day of the previous session, right? Look, I mean, this is just the SPY. This is on weekly, so we'll zoom out a little bit. Like I said, there's not a clear level here besides 458, but I don't see us just rocketing to 458. Okay, I expect some type of correction, but that doesn't mean what I expect has to happen. You know, I would think this 429, 430 level would be a pullback that would be viable if it holds. Okay, looking at the monthly picture, you can see it just right here. This level has a triple top monthly, 458. Okay, look at the volume profile. You can see a large volume node right here, building out volume here. Okay, you can see the pullback. Most trader price of the last month's 427. That would be the line in the sand. I would say in the SPY, 427. You want to hold that. Okay, don't want to go below it, because then you're going to find yourself back to 418. Again, this is just me being objective. If it goes here and breaks, that should be bearish. Okay, if it holds, that's bullish. That's how you have to look at it. That's how you have to look at it. Okay, let's move on to the Qs. Just parabolic, very parabolic. Okay, now the Qs went past a key level that I talked about. Okay, so let's zoom in. Now look, the Qs. Look at how much volume there is at the bottom and not a lot of excess. If you look at the yearly profile, this would be, and I'm only stating it because it's obvious, this is really incomplete to the downside. This does not really have excess. Look at how much volume is down here. Okay, in a profile you want to see excess. This has been like that obviously since these lows. You got a low here, a low here, and a low here, right? This is a very weak low here, but we're way away from that. I'm just stating that obvious. Now we can go back. Let's look at this move. And this, I mentioned this 369 level. I said when we were around here, I said that's the next level we're going to go to, right? So we breached it, but see now we closed underneath it. Why is that? Well, this is the daily. This is the daily. So right, so we came back to basically the midpoint. Okay, so let's look at the weeklies, right? Why did I say that level? Look at this resistance here. 1, 2, 3, 4 candles of resistance, right? We came up to it. Now we rejected it last week. Look at the weekly candle, right? It couldn't hold above it. And, we closed here beneath it. So very interesting to see if this acts as resistance again, or do we break it, hold it, and do we really go for 404? Oof. That'd be a monster move, right? Let's look at the monthlies. You could just see that it's a triple monthly high here. That's why that resistance is so strong. Okay. And go finish at the volume profile. You can see here by weeks, consolidated, pushed up. Now we got the most trader price 354. Again, just like the SPY, if we break 354 and hold, then your next test is 346. But if we hold 355, that could be the next buy point. Okay, moving on to the Dow. Okay, so the Dow almost made it to this 346. Almost. Kind of double topped and then sold off, right? Let's zoom in here to get this move. Okay, so big demand here made in the daily, but we couldn't quite make it to 346. Kind of double top, sold off back to the mid basically, right? Sold off back to the mid. And I would say this is, if you're going to be bullish, if we pull back to 340 right here in this demand zone, that could be a buyable buy, right? Now what happened? UNH had a nice move up after it sold off, and it kind of got weak on Friday, which is going to take down the Dow with it. Okay, let's look at the weeklies. And you can see in the weeklies, let's zoom in here, big resistance at 343, and we close underneath it, right? Big resistance here at 346, but we close underneath 343. So the fib 61.8 retracement, 61.8 is right here. Okay, we kind of like pulled back to there and rocketed up, but basically, like I said, we closed underneath this big resistance level. Okay, you can see in the monthlies, you can see that the Dow just really got weak. And look at that monthly candle here, boom, right? And then we've been consolidating here. We're consolidating, and it's, do we break 346 to go to 353, or do we revisit back down to 327? That's the question in the Dow. Here's the volume profile. Let's get this a little cleaner looking. Very messy at the top, but you can see there's a lot of volume at the top. There's not excess. Okay, so we got room to move up. Okay, most traded price of the month is 336. This would be the line in the sand for the Dow, 336. If we can make it here and hold it, it could be the next leg higher, right? If we break it, well, we're probably going back down to like 328. That's the story in the Dow. Let's move on to the Russell. Now the Russell's going to rebalance soon. Does that every fourth week in June. Every fourth Friday in June, every year it rebalances. So let's look at the Russell. So the Russell's been the weakest of the indexes. Big consolidation, big move up. Now we're in another consolidation. Okay. Some people say this is the true market of the US because it's not driven by big mega cap weighted stocks. This kind of says it's a representation of America. A lot of people say that. Okay. So here's the daily. Big, huge candle, a bullish engulfing candle. And now we're holding. Okay, we're holding here. What are the levels? 184.91 is a good support level, right? So we had a nice move on Thursday, and then a bearish, went all the way down to 184, closed right here at 185.94. Okay, let's look at the weeklies. So big selling excess at 188, call it 189, a big resistance at 190. Okay, so we're consolidating. Monthlies, you can see just a big move down and a big consolidation after the move down. So the question is, can we revisit 171 or do we test 190 and then eventually almost 200? Don't know yet, right? Time will tell. Here's the volume profile. Now you can see what's happened here is a big move up, so big consolidation, big volume. Of course, everything moves from a big consolidation to a breakout. Okay, so we broke out a higher, big volume here, and we're holding. We're holding. See this level, 185? It's different from the other indexes, right? Everybody else's most traded prices are lower, but the Russell is holding this price, 185. So, and the support level here is like 184.91. I have alert set here. So if we break down, you got want to see it hold here. But if we hold it, that could be a nice long in the Russell. You know, we could move right back up to the 189, 190 level. Then that could possibly put all these shorts in pain and we can make the next move up. But I don't know if that happens. We're just stating what structurally where we're at, right? All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the triple-headed monster. Let's look at that 10-year yield. So made a big move up and we're holding. Yields are holding higher, okay? They're not really agreeing with the market, so have to see here. Now, looking at the 10-year yield right now, it is up 0.11%. It's basically flat, okay? So bond market is not in agreement. Usually it's inversed. Rising yields and a rising market is usually not what happens. So right now they're correlated. They're usually uncorrelated. So we have to keep an eye on that. The VIX is pretty much kind of dead. We've been hovering down here, but we're at 14 right now. So you need to break 15. I thought I had an alert there. Hold on a second. That's not what I wanted. There we go. Have an alert set there. So I'm really, you have to break 15 in order to get any movement in the market down. Okay. And we'll look at the dollar. Let's look at that dollar and just see the moves here. So the dollar is making it kind of like bottomed out right here, making a move up today. I have an alert set here, 102. See if that can break that. If not, obviously we break 102. The next support is 101. So higher the dollar, worse for equities and commodities. Lower the dollar, more beneficial to the stock market. Okay. Moving on. Let's go to volume profile and market profile. My favorite for looking at the structure of the market. Okay. We need to look at the structure. That's gonna put me on a bias to what kind of trades, be a swing in options, a position trade in stock, stuff like that, right? So we need something to filter us out. Okay. Now that doesn't mean it filters out a day trade for me, but it in a swing kind of opportunity, it will. Okay, it will, because you want to flow like water, but you want to flow where the trend is going, right? So let's go move over to market profile, right? All right. So this is what we have here. Let's make this a little bigger. All right, what do we have in ES right now, right? Okay, so I don't count yesterday's session as nothing. I don't even care about it. It was a little tiny session. I ignore it. Okay, I really ignore it. I can merge. What I probably will do is let's see here. Merge these two to make them. Let's see here. Let's merge next. There we go. It's pretty cool, right? I could just merge them. So I'm just looking at this as Sunday's activity into Monday as a whole. All right. I really want to look at it this session as opposed to this session. Okay. So let's look at it together. So this profile of the rolling week has a bullish imbalance. This is a bullish profile. Okay, because you have excess at the bottom, and the majority of the volume is up at the top here. Okay, And what do you expect when you have volume at the top? You want to see a completed profile. So usually you're going to get excess up to the top. See, it kind of ends in this supply zone up here. That's typically how a profile should be completed. Okay, that's what we have there as far as the profile. Let's look at our major levels. Most traders price of the week is here. Okay, the rolling week, so that's 44.74. That actually happens to be the most traded price of last Friday. Okay, now of course we have to look at where's price. Now the one thing I will look at real quick is the most traded price of the month is still down there. And what is that? That hasn't moved yet. That's 4333. Okay, so that's 4333. Okay. Next, we got to look at what in relation to Friday and to where we are now. Okay, so this is Friday's high. Now we have a week high in the ES right here. That's a week high. Okay, right off the bat, that's a week high. Shorts are there. Longs had poor location. Okay, remember this, when you have a nuanced level like that and it's right at the same level, that is small traders. That is not big head fund. That is not large time frame traders. Okay, that's a nuanced level. Banks, institutions do not trade on those micro levels like that. They don't do that. So that's how you know there's smaller participants involved, the weak hands. Okay, so here's the low of Friday. Now we are below the low of Friday right now. Price is right here at 44.42. Okay, so I could look at this like a gap lower because I'm kind of trying to ignore overnight Sunday activity and this. Well, I don't want to ignore this morning's activity, but that's this activity. Okay, but this profile right here is pretty much I'm gonna almost ignore it. Okay, so overnight high, overnight low. We have a very balanced profile. Very balanced. Okay, what else do we have? We have almost 100% net short inventory. This is all the short activity. This is the long activity. So pretty much everyone is short in the overnight, right? However, that doesn't give us any kind of edge because guess what? The price is in the middle of the profile. These shorts have taken profit or covered already. So that is not important anymore. Doesn't now most times when I mention overnight 100% inventory, net short or net long, you want to see it at the bottom, and you don't want to see them. You don't want to see them in pain yet. This just doesn't give us any edge. We're in the middle of the session. Okay. We're in the middle of the session. We are below the most traded price of the week. We have some supply that formed overhead. So the question is, do we move back up here? Is this a buying opportunity? Or are we going to start to make us back down here, right? So let's get into scenarios. Okay. I would say today is not the easiest day to read. We just had quad witching, right? So now market makers and dealers are going to have to re-hedge positions today because everything's off the board. So today, whatever participants do, whatever strikes have the most open interest or volume, that's where market makers and dealers will have to hedge. And it's really tomorrow will be a better sense of where everybody's participating at, right? Because the option markets, it's transparent. You can see where the big boys are at. Okay, so very easy today. Okay, basically what I'm seeing. Okay, so we can go with some of a bearish bias first. We're underneath this most traded price, right? So really, you have a consolidation here, right? What a demand zone, starting right here, and you have another demand zone in the 9 EMA daily, right? So we're getting some pullback from this big move up. Here's the 50% line of the big move up. Here's price. Okay. So if people think they missed the boat, okay, you're getting almost a 50%. You are getting a 50% pullback now from this big move. Okay. You've come back all the way to the mid. You have some overhead supply that formed. So really, let's talk about a bullish scenario today if people get bullish. And I don't know if they will. But we know what we have here is demand, 9 EMA daily, and another demand. Okay, so what could happen is, you know, we can pop down, we can move up into supply, calm down. This will be the first test to see if buyers can buy some dips here. Possibly move up into this supply, which should probably cause some resistance, and see if possibly we can move back to the most traded price of the week. That's either by doing this or by coming down. This is obviously a lot more bearish. You take out that big day Thursday's lows, and then you come back to this consolidation here, and this is the real test, because then you see if people really, buyers are strong and they want to buy this dip, then that possibly can happen. Okay. Now, as far as this will just be the opposite, pretty easy. Okay, pretty easy. If the other scenarios are just what I said, we can move right up into this supply zone. You get some lower highs. Remember, you got longs from here. Come down, hit this naked VPOC. Then you can look, to see what we do in this demand. 9 EMA dailies here. Probably get a little bounce here. And then you can stay low here, or we go down to this demand. Right? Also, you could come all the way back up. All the way back up to the most traded price into this supply zone. And also, we could take a tumble. So that's what I'm kind of seeing, right? It's basically on either side of this 50% fib from that move up on Thursday. Do we hold it, go higher, or do we break it and we go low? That's really what I'm seeing in the ES. Okay, let's move on to the NASDAQ. Really quickly, let's go over the profile. A little more excess at the top here on the NASDAQ, okay? A little more. Okay. Most traded price of the week is here. Okay, price is here. All right. So we're below the most traded price of the week. Okay, that's that. Now, let's merge these so I can see one profile. Okay. Now, where are we at? Friday high, Friday low, overnight high, overnight low, overnight high. Price is right there at 15,247. Okay, NASDAQ is getting some love right now. Okay, so we came all the way down here, and now this little overnight profile has a bullish imbalance. And what was it? It was at one point almost 100% net short. So guess what? Shorts are going to have to cover. Okay, this is more bullish than the ES. So now we know we got shorts here, shorts here. People could be looking at this as a buying opportunity. Okay, and you got demand here. Now the 50% retracement of Thursday is around right here. It's at 15,278. We're below it. Remember, that's our line in the sand. We're below it right now, but if we recover, it could mean we go up here today and we hold, building out this level. Okay, so let's look at some trade plan or scenarios. Okay, so what do we have? Very clear, very similar to the ES. Okay, we'll go with a bullish play, not the bullish play, a bullish scenario. We already have this bullish imbalance, which means that a lot of volume at the top here. There's supply, so people shorted here. It's the most traded price of the overnight. So definitely what could happen, you got to look for is if we stay here and we open up, boom, and we hold this, now that's that 50% level. You probably get some resistance in this supply, but then we could basically make a move right back up to the most traded price of the week. Do we go to this week high? Also have a week high here. I don't know. But if we do, we probably go like this. I don't know if we go higher. We could retrace back and hold higher levels, right? That's bullish. Okay, that'd be very bullish. Okay, there's also a case for if these longs can get hurt, right? And you kind of push up, you know, come quickly right back down to Thursday lows. This would be a very big test for the market. This is the 9 EMA daily in a demand zone and Thursday's lows. This is a big test, right? And if you really want to show the buyers are controlled, they'll hold these levels and you could possibly move back. Now, just the opposite for a bearish scenario. Okay? You just saw it basically in what I just said. So, one or two things. We can open, pop, get some lower highs, test this, and that's the test for this bearish scenario. We either bounce or break it, and then you got single prints down below. I don't know if we do this today. You got Powell testing on tomorrow. I'm just giving a scenario. Okay? Could also pop up here, come down, and so from that supply, you have supply right in this here with the most traded price as well, and that also can have us cascade down. So original line in the sand is the 50% retracement here. So that's kind of like, what do we do? Hold above it or below it? Okay. Today is not easy to read. I'll be the first one to admit it's not an easy read in the indexes. Okay. However, that's going to be it for me. Subscribe if you haven't already. That'd mean a lot. Okay. Set an alert. Give me a big thumbs up if you liked what you saw. Okay, of course, you got my Twitter and my Instagram. And everybody, we see the plan. 50% Fibonacci in both the NASDAQ and the ES are a key line in the sand. A lot of patience out the gate because, like I said, today's going to be a lot about positioning for the next OPEX. Okay, so stay patient. Right now, what I'm looking at, coin 56. Off the bat, I'm just right now looking at coin 56 and possibly looking at BABA. BABA, not really sure yet. It's under 90 right now. So there's been a lot of buying in BABA. This could cause a little bit of a drop on BABA. Not entirely sure, but that's what I'm looking at right now. Obviously, I'll have more plays because this is my pre-market game plan right after I get off this stream with you guys. Okay, so good luck today. Stay green. If you don't hear from me, I'll see everybody tomorrow.